I apologize for the air conditioner. It's getting hot here in northern America. So I apologize for the background noise. I'm going to run no filter. Hopefully it's not too annoying. Probably will ruin the video, but whatever. Wanted to talk about corporate slavery. Does it exist? What is it? I'm sure a lot of people think of this. Do I believe it exists? This is all opinion. Yes, of course. A lot of business entities out there are owned by a corporation, right? Big entities, even family-owned places, with a lot of destinations, a lot of money revenue. When you're working a job, you're making someone exponential wealth for a minimum payment, right, per hour or salary. It's just the way it is. Could it be called corporate slavery? Sure. Modern-day slavery? Sure. But you can't take anything away from slavery in different cultures throughout time, right? Like, you're at least making a wage. You're getting some benefits, even though healthcare in some places is just a joke. I'm not even going to touch on that topic, but it's not even comparable, okay? Like, the Irish enslaved, Egyptians, everywhere. Every culture on earth has had slaves. Old 1800s, blacks enslaved in America. There's no comparison between that type of slavery and like corporate slavery, right? These people were worked, 15, 20 hours a day, minimally fed, had no life outside of the workload they were given. There's no comparison whatsoever. To me, like I said, it's my opinion. And modern day, you're at least getting your wage, benefits, PTO, you know what I mean? The list goes on. It's not calling it corporate. I don't know. Using the word slavery and modern slavery or corporate slavery, I just don't feel is correct because it's so elementary compared to slavery in the past and every culture, right? People had it way worse. People would work days and days for a loaf of bread. You know what I mean? You have like Roman peasants, night peasants, poverty in every culture, right? There's just no comparison. So now that that's out of the way, is it a form of, I don't even know the word for it, but yeah, you are working for a very minute wage in comparison to making someone grand wealth, right? And then people will say, oh, well, if you don't like it, start your own business, patent something. Well, a lot of this stuff takes a lot of capital, a lot of money, and then it comes down to, like, everything's been created. You know how hard it is to create something that hasn't been invented or patented already? And then, yeah, you get what I'm saying. What did someone say? It's like playing a game of Monopoly when all the land on the board is already bought up and taken, right? And you have to start from scratch. You're at a disadvantage. But that's not to make excuses and whine, right? We're all dealt hands. Some people start out with more wealth, better genetics, you know what I mean? The list goes on and on. But everyone has 24 hours a day ultimately. Some people make it from rags to riches. Some people are spoon-fed. It's all in what you do with your time. Like, if you sit around and dwell and woe is me all the time, you're not going to get anywhere, right? You'll be in the same place you were, a year from now, you'll be in the same place you were a year before that. Cat and dog are going at it, I apologize. But you have to get into, like, a bit of a grind set mentality. I'm not saying work your life away, because you got to enjoy life. Try to spread love. Try not to be judgmental. It's very hard. I still battle it. I'm working on myself every day. But the whole, like, grind your life away for money, I don't agree with that either. Like, I work to live. I don't live to work. And I'll always have that mindset because I enjoy my free time. I enjoy having my lazy time, right? But is it essential to have a job to generate an income? Of course. I mean, I've been at rock bottom with no money. I've had to, I've had a helping hand lent from family, you know what I mean, and years ago, and everyone was paid back, and I don't like borrowing money. I don't like, you know what I mean? I've been at rock bottom with no money, and it's not fun, and I don't ever want to go back to that, and I hopefully never will. But I know with my mindset, like they say, it sounds cliche, but if I were to go broke, I'd get out of it again because I've been through it. When you're in it, like when I look back and think about some of the times, it's like, man, that was pathetic, and like, how did I get through it? But when you're in it, you have to. You're a human being. You're resilient. Your instincts are to survive, right? Even the most depressed human most are still living through life because they're clinging on and they're trying to strive, right? It's just human nature. But yeah, it is essential to have a job, even if it is. I try to look at it like I'm not at my job for the owner of the business. The owner of where I'm currently working is very wealthy. He's a billionaire, very wealthy man. Am I making him tons of money? Sure, I am. So are the other couple thousands of people, he's hiring. It is what it is. I don't dwell on it. I've thought about it many, many times. I'm not gonna, cry me a river over it. A lot of people, 99% of the population has to work for a living, and if it's for another person, then so be it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's people flipping burgers and making fries that are older than me. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. I try not to judge. Like, it's so ingrained in us to judge people like, oh, they work at fast food. Oh, but you know what I mean? But the thing is, at least they're working. At least they're generating a wage for them or their family, right? At least they're getting up every day and clocking in or doing what they have to do. I don't care if you're pushing a mop, flipping burgers, working labor, or you're a CEO. You're being a productive member of society, right? Whether that society's a hunk of crap or not, I really do. Every time I see people working for lower wages, I always think they're working. At least they have a job. You know what I mean? Because I've been there. I've worked minimum wage. I'm not rich, but I make a decent wage working labor. I made decent money as a valve tech in the oil field, and now I'm in metal fab, and it's local. Cost of living is good. I can't complain. Has its ups and downs, but I don't judge. Someone who makes exponentially more than me could judge me for being in labor, like I could judge someone who makes near minimum wage or $10, $15 an hour. And that's on them. Some people have an ego, and that speaks a lot about their character. I try not to do that, and it's so easy to fall in to judgment, right? It's a big battle, and I try not to judge. You don't know what's going on with other people. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know. Some people drop out of school to take care of family members, and they're at a disadvantage off the get-go, but they're trying to do something for their bloodline, for their family, and it's commendable, right? You never know the backstory. One of the worst things I used to do when I was younger was, judge a book by its cover. Sometimes people are exactly as they appear. If they look rough and they're a piece of crap, they may end up being a piece of crap. But I've met some people that look rough that are absolutely brilliant. I've met people that look like they have no money and they're quite wealthy, right? Some people that have wealth don't flaunt it, and they don't want people to know about it, and they live very frugal. It exists. A lot of people flaunt their money, I get that, but never judge a book by its cover. You'll be shocked. Never underestimate people. It's very easy to, in this societal construct we live in, it's very easy to prejudge. And 9 times out of 10, the perceived notion I have of somebody, the perceived persona I feel of somebody, the first little bit of seeing them or knowing them, 9 times out of 10 is nothing what they're like once I get to know what they're actually like, right? You ever notice that? It's wild to me. A lot of the times, that person in my head that I formulate when I see someone or meet someone very little is not what they're like at all. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't judge a book by its cover. It's just that simple. This video is almost 10 minutes long. I'm going to cut it there. But that's my take on corporate slavery, modern day slavery, I don't even feel it's a correct word. It's not even comparable to years of past, slavery. And in many cultures, I'm not going to be biased towards any type of slavery. It's all horrible, and it's been in every culture throughout history. It's wild, but it's not even comparable. But it's still a form, I guess. That's about it. Hot take, just opinions, just discussing.